These are the reasons why racism in Miami hits different, and it's very controversial and very contradictory. Number one, if you're a celebrity in Miami, you can go anywhere, do anything, you will be fine. I don't care how hood you are. I don't care what your crew looks like. If you got bread and you are a celebrity, everywhere will treat you amazingly. Now, if you're not a celebrity and you are a black person, you got to be careful, because the white people in Miami, the Hispanic people of Miami who are racist, who have power, who have control, who have ownership of restaurants, of clubs, of buildings, will make your experience hellish. Manalai.
So I've been seeing a lot of people talk about moving to Miami, and as a New Yorker that lived in Miami for a short time, don't. Miami got mad racism, y'all. Mad racism. Okay? Latino people do not fuck with us in Miami.
The problem is that due to the racist history of the city of Miami against black people in general, and due to the racism embedded in the minds of the Latinos that live in the city as well, this history is often overlooked, not talked about, etc. So let's talk a little bit about history, right?
Being black in Florida is a roller coaster ride that I wish I could get off of. In addition to anti-blackness from white people, which I've come to expect, Hispanic people, which I don't understand, and black people, there are no safe spaces.
Black people, Miami is not really for you. So let me tell you something. If you are a black person and you are thinking about moving to Miami or living in Miami or spending any amount of real time here, you need to have a very strong sense of yourself. You need to know exactly who you are. You need to know exactly what the coins are. You need to be prepared to be faced with some of the most outrageous casual racism that you will ever see.
I truly don't understand how anybody that is not white lives in the South.
I'm not exactly sure of the Miami party promoter drama that's going on TikTok right now, but I want to give my 2 cents in. As someone that grew up in Florida and as a dark-skinned queen, for years, I've been saying that Miami is by far the worst city for black women in America, specifically if you're darker than a paper bag.
And to those black girls that got denied entry to that club on South Beach, I figured now would be a good time to let y'all know the history of Miami. Coming from a black person whose family is born and raised in Miami. South Beach is a sundown town, or at least it was. Like a legit sundown town. Now, when you think of sundown towns, you don't think of beaches, right? You think of rural South. You think of horses and cows and a man shooting tobacco out of his mouth telling you to get out of town, nigga. But I'm here to tell you that if you ask any black person who's born and raised in Miami, who got old heads in their family in Miami, they'll let you know that South Beach was a sundown town. And if you were black and you were on the beach, let's say working, because mostly that's what we would be doing on the beach back then, working or entertaining, you were told, be across that bridge before the sun went down.
Hello lovelies, welcome back to today's episode. A lot of black people are sharing their experience the way Miami is a racist area, and each and every black people who are planning to move there, you need to be very careful, because this Cuban Miami and these white people who are staying there, they may make your life so hard because you are people of color. Let's get to hear them very well. I've seen some people trying to talk about this issue, but some people also don't take it as a serious matter, but it is. Drop your thought in the comment section, then we'll come back with more commentaries.
Now we're talking. Y'all really want to get these Miami Latinos for Trump riled up on a Sunday, and I'm here for it. I think we can all agree that several groups of Latino immigrants, not just one or two, several groups of Latino immigrants that settled in Miami several decades ago and continue to do so now, played a massive role in building and constructing the city of Miami into what it is today, right? An internationally recognized city across the entire planet. At the exact same time, not only can we, but we must acknowledge the contributions of black folks in the city of Miami and how they have also given immense support into building the city into what it is today. I'm talking about Bahamian immigrants, which were some of the first settlers here in the city of Miami. I'm talking about African Americans. I'm talking about Haitians. I'm talking about Jamaicans and so many more. And I know a lot of racist trolls may come into the comment section of this video and say, what the hell have black people done, you know? We built this, Cubans built this, Colombians built this, Latinos built this. They didn't do anything for the city of Miami. And you couldn't be more wrong. The problem is that due to the racist history of the city of Miami against black people in general, and due to the racism embedded in the minds of the Latinos that live in the city as well, this history is often overlooked, not talked about, etc. So let's talk a little bit about history, right? You guys know Henry Flagler? The guy whose name is on one of the main arteries of Miami-Dade County, one of the main streets in this city? Bueno, Henry Flagler was a billionaire who brought his railroad company down here to Florida and created Florida East Coast Railway, which constructed a railway through Dade County, the Keys, etc., right? A lot of the workers, a lot of the laborers in Henry Flagler's railroad company here in Dade County and in the area where it was in the city of Miami were black laborers, whether Bahamian or African American, right? Now, Henry Flagler had a huge interest in creating the city of Miami and incorporating it, meaning making it an official city, right? This required, I believe, like 344 votes. 344 people in the 1800s, I believe in like the 1890s, had to vote to incorporate the city and make Miami an official city in the state of Florida. At the time, the Flagler organization could not find enough people to vote. So what happens? They registered 162 black men that were working for Flagler's railroad company to vote to incorporate the city of Miami as an official city. And they did. Now, despite those vast contributions that black people provided to this city, they were subsequently treated as second-class citizens. They couldn't buy property in any areas that weren't in the segregated areas that the city designated. They couldn't vote without being intimidated until many, many, many years later. They couldn't do many things that they should have been granted the access to do because they had a role in building this city. So you, Miami Latino for Trump, don't be ignorant. Don't be racist. The fact that people should acknowledge the contributions of black Miamians doesn't mean we're taking away from yours, from Latinos. Stop it. Stop it.
I'm not exactly sure of the Miami party promoter drama that's going on TikTok right now, but I want to give my 2 cents in. As someone that grew up in Florida and as a dark-skinned queen, for years, I've been saying that Miami is by far the worst city for black women in America, specifically if you're darker than a paper bag. You would think because you're in Florida and it's diverse and there's a lot of culture, that living in an environment like that would be positive for black women. But I have not had more discriminatory experiences in nightlife than I have in Florida. And I live in Texas now. And that's literally why I live in Texas now. I had to move across the country just to get treated fairly in nice places. I have literally been kicked out of a section for being dark-skinned. The men treat you differently, the women treat you differently. Everyone thinks that they're better than you because they're lighter than you. And you're gonna be like, oh no, that's just your insecurities. Da, 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 da. No, babes. I came to Dallas, Houston, and was treated like the bad bitch 1,000 out of 10 that I am. I mean, getting invited into sections, getting free drinks, party promoters reaching out to me to come out. But in Florida, you would think I was begging on my hands and knees to get let into this club. So I'm glad that Florida specifically is being ousted as the racist state that it is. I mean, racism and colorism is everywhere, but they don't care about it in Florida. They literally promote it. You can go to a black-owned place of business and no woman there will not be darker than a paper bag. And they will treat you like scum as a dark-skinned person, as a dark-skinned woman, and their establishment as if you're not giving them your green money. So that's my thoughts.
I truly don't understand how anybody that is not white lives in the South. I admit I'm a psycho New York liberal girly, but coming down to Florida from New York, okay, is such a stark difference in everything. The South just exudes stupidity. It exudes anti-intellectualism. It exudes racism. It exudes homophobia. It exudes so many isms, okay, that I don't know how anybody who's black or a person of color can even survive here. If I literally lived here, I would end up in jail because I do not let racism go unchecked. Because, ho, what you feeling like? You okay? I see you staring and making faces. Are you okay? Oh, okay. That's what I thought. I cannot stand this place. And me and my family, we have a beachfront condo down here in Florida. And I literally come here once every couple of years. And this is the exact reason why. Because this is disgusting. And it is crazy to me how the U.S. differs amongst states like this. I could never, ever in my life live here. Ever. And one last thing, y'all. These people are big down here. I'm like, God damn. I know Americans are big as a whole, but going from New York, coming down here to the South, on God, 1 in 8 people here have obesity. 1 in 8 people. Gotta be. Gotta be. Y'all are big as hell.
I just wanted to address this comment that was left on under this post. In no way I am like negating what this person commented, because historically Miami has been racist. Like, let's talk about how on South Beach, black entertainers couldn't even stay in the hotels, like Fontainebleau. Black people could not stay in those hotels. They would have to cross over the bridge and stay in like Overtown or whatever. So yeah, Miami has historically been racist. Yes. I can only speak from my experience of living in Miami. I've been in South Florida 7 years, but I lived in Miami for 4 of those 7 years. And I personally have not experienced any racism. Now, it's not to say that it's not there, but Miami is also truly neighborhood-wise, it's divided. You know, depending on what neighborhood you live, you will only see certain type of people, and that's just how it is here. I used to live downtown Miami, and in my experience, and I used to live and work in downtown Miami, so I would walk to work and walk home from work. And the only black people that I would see besides myself would be the doormen that would greet me when I left my building. People think Miami is so diverse. It is. It's diverse, but like I said, it's very segregated. So when I first came to Miami in 2009, I stayed in South Beach because I didn't know any better. And, you know, that's where everyone goes. And you saw a lot of black people there. You saw a lot of black people on South Beach. But you have to realize that majority of those people on South Beach are tourists and they don't live in Miami. So when I lived in downtown Miami and I was like, yo, where the black people at? Like, I'm asking, like, where black people at? They're not there. They're not there in like downtown. They're not there in like the Brickell area, Coral Gables. Like, it's very few of us. Now, I don't live in that area anymore. The area that I decided to reside in Miami is more of a mixed community, and I'm not the only black person. And even when I go out to dine or establishments, I try to support just black-owned businesses because the service is usually 100 times better. They understand me and they give me great service. So Miami can be hella racist. So I encourage everyone to support black-owned businesses. When you visit Miami, when you come here and you live here or you're visiting, look up black establishments to support and spend your dollars there. Okay, that's all I had to say.
Black people, Miami is not really for you. So let me tell you something. If you are a black person and you are thinking about moving to Miami or living in Miami or spending any amount of real time here, you need to have a very strong sense of yourself. You need to know exactly who you are. You need to know exactly what the coins are. You need to be prepared to be faced with some of the most outrageous casual racism that you will ever see. It is not the same as it is in DC, LA, New York, etc., where you're dealing with a population that's used to seeing a lot of black people, from upscale black people to ratchets to middle class. They're used to seeing it all. So in Miami, if you're going to, like, let's say a hot spot, if you're going to like a Milo or a Poppy steak or whatever, You will get clocks from head to toe. They're looking at your watch, they're looking at your shoes, they're looking at your belt, because they cannot comprehend how you would be here. There's no comprehension in Miami in terms of the local scene of black people with real coins, with real money, because they don't see it here. So if you're a black person and you come here and you don't know exactly who you are, then you're going to start seeing things every single day that are going to cause you to start questioning yourself, questioning who you are in the world, questioning your level of attractiveness, all of that stuff. Now, that being said, I think that Miami can be a wonderful place for a lot of people, no matter what your color is. But I really do think that it is a place that is very specific, that is very much not into black people. They will let you know in ways large and small when you are here. So if you're a black person and you're thinking about coming to Miami, just be very clear about the things that you're going to see and the things that you're going to experience. And you cannot let that bother you. You have to be able to shrug it off, because you will see things that you do not see in these other cities.
Being black in Florida is a roller coaster ride that I wish I could get off of. In addition to anti-blackness from white people, which I've come to expect, Hispanic people, which I don't understand, and black people, there are no safe spaces. I live in a guard-gated community. 24 hours a day, there's supposed to be a guard there controlling access to the community through the non-resident side. All of these individuals are black. I came into the neighborhood at 2 a.m. Monday morning, and the guardhouse was completely abandoned. There was no one there. Both gates were wide open, and I didn't think anything of it because the gate is nothing that gives me any sense of security whatsoever. That's the type of thing I let my neighbors complain about. Later on that day, when I came back, the guard was there, but the resident side seemed to be having some sort of a malfunction. There was a car in front of me, and she was repositioning herself, trying to get her transponder to work. And then eventually the guard pressed a button, opened the arm, and that person was allowed to enter into the neighborhood. When it was my turn to come into the neighborhood, I kind of crept up because I assumed that there was something going on with the transponders. That's nothing new. It has happened before, but my transponder has always worked. So I get close to the gate. It doesn't open for me either. I back up, I reposition myself. I do what I can do with the space that I have, but it's becoming clear that the gate is not working. The guard yells at me and tells me that I need to back up and figure out a way to come in through the non-resident side. And I said, no, I'm a resident. Not only was the non-resident side backed up, but you just let someone in front of me. So she goes, well, I don't know if you live here. And I said, I'm telling you I live here. And she said, well, I'm not letting you in. I rolled up my window because, baby, you don't know about me. I just came from Chick-fil-A. I have a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. I have my orange juice. I rolled up my window, turned on my music, put my strawberry jelly on my sandwich, and ate my sandwich in peace. Because if you think I'm going to let you, a non-resident, check me, a resident, in my neighborhood where I pay HOA assessments, you must have lost your cotton-picking mind.
For those of you that are saying Miami is not racist, let me break down what I've been through so you can understand that Miami's not overtly racist. It's a little bit more hidden and harder to see. So, I was once hired to be an atmosphere model for Mr. Jones. I was paid $1,000 to go to this club, sit down, be at this event, look cute, and leave. Now, in the room, I was one of 3 black women in a space that had maybe 500 people. So we were there to meet the quota, the right ratio of black women that was okay for that night. Now, I was getting paid. I was not really part of the event. I was just there. About 2 weeks later, I met with a promoter, and he's like, hey, let's hang out, and then afterwards we're gonna go out to the club, blah, blah, blah. I was outside at the time. I said, all right, cool. So I'm with myself and another one of my girls. We pull up to Mr. Jones, and I see him talking back and forth with the promoter. I'm really cool with him. And he comes back and he's like, yeah, he says there's too many black girls in our crew. So outside of myself, there was about 5 other black women I didn't know, but they were attractive black women, different sizes, different complexions, etc. We were denied entry. Okay, so this is the part of Miami where I say I'm the same person that was paid to be in the establishment to meet a requirement of people that was turned away weeks later because there was too many black people in my crew. Now, Mr. Jones is one of those spaces where if you go on their page at the time, this is about a year ago or two, you saw white and Hispanic women and you saw black men that as long as they were famous, that was fine. That is what happens in a lot of clubs in Miami, especially South Beach, especially affluent clubs, especially clubs that are not necessarily catering to a black crowd. They may have a black night. You know what night to go to live. You know what night to go to certain clubs to see your people, to hear your music. Now, some people are like, it's not a big deal. And some people say that's a big deal because this is 2025. But hey, is that considered racist to you or not? Or do you just not care about the well-being of black women, which, hey, join the line.
When a lot of black people kept telling that it's not easier to move to Florida, to Miami, people need to be very careful when you want to move there. Miami has been a trend for years. A lot of people kept dreaming to go there on that beach, enjoying that experience, either in a vacation or a wedding. But if you are a black people are keep saying it's not made for you because you are going to regret your money. You are going to regret each and everything. Imagine a lot of black women are keep saying, we wish to go in those clubs, but for you to enter in that clubs, you need to beg because you are black. But when you are black but with a lighter skin, they are going to favor you. Just try to imagine when you are a black man, they are going to favor you because they want those black men to come and be with them. When you are a celebrity, they are going to let you in. But when you are a black people, especially black women, things are not going to move well for you. And imagine you are living in America, you are American citizen, because of one small group who hold a certain area, they can't allow you to have a freedom, they can't allow you to enjoy your life. It's look like that area of Florida, they have their own government. How come till date, after so many years, a lot of people kept talking about this racism there, and till date, no change. No one even want to talk about it. No one even want to make a move to change these things. You remember since this massive procession started, a lot of ICE, when they are in Miami, a lot of Miami Cuban was detained in a way they never thought. Because according to them, you remember when we tried to go a bit in the history, this Miami Cuban, they went in that area in the 1950s, when there was a war in their country, American government guaranteed them refugee. They started to help them, giving them house, food, each and everything. As these people grew up in that area, they started to feel they belongs in a white supremacy. They considered themselves as a white people. They started to feel it, to move with it. In the 1980s, they started to make black people who stay among them things harder on their side, till black people started to complain, we are getting bad experience from these people, they are taking away our businesses, they are trying to enlarge each and everything connect to us, to move out from this city, to left them alone, which is something no one expected to see. Now imagine from 1980s till date, these people, they are still fearing themselves. They want to hold that area around with the white people. How come a black people will come to you in a business, you want money, you can't even think that you are a businessman, you want money, you just try to treat them like a trash, you don't want to give them a good service. When they are begging you to enter in your club and you are looking for money, you can't allow them to enter. Does even make sense? And when this mass deportation started, this Miami Cuban were crying a lot. Oh, we are being detained. We are being deported. Black people are not raise up their voice. They don't want to help us. You want the black people to come and help you. And you yourself, you have a high level of hatred towards them. You can't even think that black people has played a big role to build this city of Florida, of Miami you are living. You can't even check in the history how each and everything started. You just don't want them. No wonder black people are trying to say If you want to move to Miami or for a vacation, you need to do your research, because even though there is diversity, different culture there, you are not going to see each and everyone together, because for you to see a black people in that area, you will need to do your research. A lot of black people moved out in that area because each and every time they kept a bad experience. Just try to imagine to live when you think that that area is a sundown town. You need to be very careful. When you are going in Miami Beach, you need to be very careful. They are not going to make things easier for you. Just try to imagine. And when we try to talk about racism in Miami, Cuban in general, some people may thought that is a propaganda. But when you try to hear a lot of people who kept work with them, they may share with you a lot of things, a lot of bad experience they have with these people, because when they see you as a dark-skinned people or you are black people, nothing will work for you with them. They don't have anything to do with you. Even in their families, in their communities, they have that racism among themselves. They treat people in a different way. When you are friends or siblings, you have lighter skin, they are going to make you priority more than other siblings who have a little bit dark skin. Just try to imagine. And when you are moving in America, you thought that America is your land. Nothing will shake you. Nothing will stop you. But when you see, even the ICE is not making things easier for them. I think most of them, they try to learn a lesson, because the way they deported them massively, it is something which shocked most of them. They never expected to see something like this. People need to learn to be good. You need to be better. How come you are living in an area you can't allow someone else to come to you? You are making your area as if you are a defender, or you are somehow. Do you think whatever you do will never come to you in the coming future? No wonder when the black people say, we don't want to unite with these people, we don't want them to call us for a help, because there is no any way these people ever like us, and there will be no any way these people will like us. No matter how we would try to be humble, to be nice to them, they can't be with us. If you remember, during that era chaos, a lot of Cuban in Miami, they kept saying black people are not coming out to help them. Where are they? Why they are so quiet? Why these people look like they don't care about their situation? Why? How do you want black people to care about your situation when you don't care about them? You know very well black history. You know very well what these people pass through. But for you, what you do for them, it's to make their life miserable whenever they meet you. Is to call them all sort of names and what. And yet, you know, you have roots of brown people, of black people in you, but you can't admit, because you always neglect the history. You are ignorant. You don't want to hear anything connected to your history, to know better where you came from, how each and everything started, how you become a Cuban, a Latino here and there. You don't want to hear anything. These black people you are seeing, they should be your brothers, they should be your uncles. But because you feel you have that whiteness in you, you don't want to hear anything, because according to you, the history is nothing to you. Guys, let me know what you think about today's episode. Drop your thought in the comment section. Thank you for watching. See you in my next episode.